everybody, it's Catherine from Jayne Catherine on Books. I'm here with a bit of a belated February wrap-up. March Mystery Madness is happening all the month of March, as you will know by now. And yeah, just a little bit behind with posting my February wrap-up. And so many other things to get out there, so you can start joining in with the fun for the March Mystery Madness. So February wrap-up, I read 8 books in February. I had 1 2-star, 3 3-stars, 1 4-stars and 3 5-stars. So I did really well. I'm really pleased. So that adds up to 8, I think, if my maths is correct. 3 6 7 8, yes. Okay, so we'll start with the lowest first. The first one here is my library book, Real Life Library Book Club pick, and we had to read a book by Robert Harris. And here I read The Fear Index. I gave this 2 stars. Now, this not necessarily because it was a badly written book. Robert Harris, Conclave is one of his most revered books, where it's fiction set in Rome and how they choose the Pope. And I think I've read that, but it's a long time ago. Very factual, his book. So although the fiction, there's a lot of fact in there. And basically this is, we've got a scientist, a physicist who works at CERN in Geneva on the Hadron Collider, loses his job and decides that he's going to develop a piece of software that can help with the economies, keep the economies of the world on track. And it's a bit of a thriller along those lines. Yes, I think the premise of it is good. It shows you how scary things like that can be. I found it too factual for me. Very much, you get very much embedded with physics and economics, and I'm no good at either subject. So yeah, and I found that that took over from the main mystery. So I gave it 2 stars, but yeah, don't let that put you off if you like things that are very factual. Also, it's a very masculine style of writing is Robert Harris, so I think perhaps if you like masculine type dialogue, etc., and you might like that, but 2 stars for me. Then next, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume, and of course I'm just going to put the pictures up here for you to see. A little middle grade book. I gave it 3 stars. Nice book covering a young girl called Margaret and how she copes with grief and loss. Not a bad little book. A lot of culture differences in there, very middle grade for the American market, I felt. And there are a lot of cultural differences, educational differences, but still a nice little book. Next, Summer Secrets by Jayne Green. Now, as you know, if you've been a while, you know I like Jayne Green. She's a good contemporary writer, good female fiction author. This wasn't one of my favourites, to be honest. It was okay. It was an okay read. I gave it 3 stars. Nothing too startling, really. Next, this is one of my NetGalley books. It's just come out. It came out, I think, on the 5th of March. Just excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. I don't know why. It's all this reading and not used to talking. The Recovery of Rose Gold by Stephanie Wrobel, and this came out on the 5th of March. Now, there's been quite a lot of hype about this book, and my 3 NetGalleys I'm going to do a review all on their own, so I'm not going to say too much. A lot of hype. I was thrilled to get this because it's about a mother who was sent to prison for abuse of her daughter, because she's got the condition Munchausen's by proxy, that syndrome where they always think that the children are seriously ill, always taking them to the doctors and look up the symptoms and to some of these kids have had surgery and goodness knows what on the word of a mother that's got Munchausen's. Yeah, I'll tell you more in my wrap up. I think I'm of the minority. You know, as I say, it's very hyped. Many people have given it 5 stars. They're all raving about it. I thought it was okay. I don't think there was much. I think that we could have got more representation about Munchausen's by proxy from both the mother and the daughter's point of view, really. And I did guess the twist at the end. Good twist, very good twist, but yeah, so probably mine's an unpopular opinion, but I gave that 3 stars, and as I say, I'll do a wrap up on that. Next one is The Deathless Girls, and this is by Karen Millwood Hargrave, and I read her middle grade book, which was, it's gone from me at the minute, might come to me. It won a prize actually. It's gone. Can't think what it's called. Now this is surprising. This middle grade book was a debut. Then her second book is The Deathless Girls. I think I have spoken about this in some detail, but I'll do a full wrap up soon. I gave it 4 stars. It's a middle grade, not a middle grade, sorry, a YA. This is her YA. And then her third book, which is just out, is her debut adult book. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'm not sure she's deciding which genre she wants to be in, which market, you know, whether she wants to be in. Not very often that they do a bit of something from middle grade, YA and adult. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a adult one and reading that pretty soon. But I gave it 4 stars. There was a lot that I liked about it. There were some things that I didn't like, but yeah, a good solid 4 stars. Next, The Ones That Disappeared by Zana Fraillon. Now this is the second book that I've read by this author. I absolutely adored the first book, which was The Bone Sparrow, and as you know, I do have an affinity of reading books about refugees, and The Bone Sparrow very much was about refugees that had been shipped off to Australia and put in camps there, refugee camps there, and it was a very good book, right tearjerker. Well, this one didn't disappoint either. So again, there's a link with refugees, and some children have been brought over to the UK for a better life, but actually, you know, as we hear in the news, some of the people have not got the right intentions, and yeah, in this particular book there's a few children then that have been used as slaves really and not got to that better life. So yeah, I'll talk about that one in my next news and reviews. So that was 5 stars. Then the next, so it's my first of my 3 5-star books. The next one, You Are Not Alone. I haven't got cold or anything like that. I don't know. I've been eating some peanuts, and I think I've got this awful dry throat from eating these honey roasted peanuts, but they weren't very honeyfied. So a slurp of tea. Yes, so You Are Not Alone by Greer, Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, and yeah, this is not the first one that I've read from this this duo of authors. Again, I got this from NetGalley. Superb mystery. I didn't disappoint. I was gripped from the beginning, from the get-go, and all the way through. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, can you imagine being stood at the tube station and then somebody at the side of you falls to the death, and how that impacts you and what goes on from then on. But I will give a wrap up in my next news and reviews. So that's my second 5-star. Excuse me. And then finally, Beloved Poison. This is historical by E.S. Thomson, and I loved it. 5 stars for this historical fiction. It features Jem Lockhart, and back in the day you weren't allowed to study to be an apothecary if you were a girl. So Jem's father is the current apothecary at this hospital, and he's getting ready for retiring, and so Jem's being trained up to take over, but she has to live her life as a boy, as a male. So she's a young adult in this book. It is a series. I can't wait. I've got it in my basket for when I order some more books. As you know, I'm only ordering 1 or 2 a month. While I'm getting through my shelves, as you could see, they're growing behind me. So I thoroughly recommend Beloved Poison. It's a thriller, and it's the thriller element of it runs throughout the book. So although you get a really good idea what it's like to work in hospitals back in Victorian times, it's also got a good plot, thrilling plot interweaved in it. So again, they're 5 stars. So there we go. That's just a quick resume of everything that I read in February. 8 books read and found 3 5-star reads, so I'm really pleased with that. So as you know, that's my new favourite book. I used to say and a lot, I think, but now it's so. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to all my new subscribers. I've had loads this last few weeks. I keep losing loads as well. That's the trouble. I don't know what it is. I keep trying to get to that 1,000 and I go 2 steps forward and 2 back. I just don't know what it is. Every time that I put a video on, I lose at least 3 subscribers. So obviously somebody doesn't like what I say, or don't understand my Yorkshire accent, but I'm sorry, this is me. Anyway.